Welcome back! I'm so glad you're here, and if you're new to Geography Nuts, welcome. I'm thrilled you joined us today. This has been the hardest video for me to make. We've been exploring every country in the world, moving from north to south, starting with Canada, traveling through North and South America, and now making our way through Europe. Today, it's Ukraine's turn. I'll be honest, making this video while Ukraine is under attack feels heavy, but I can't skip it because it is hard. It has been 3 long years of war, and the loss is unimaginable. I can only hope that peace comes soon. I don't make much money from these videos, but whatever I earn from this one will be donated to help Ukrainians. History has shown us that Ukraine has faced unimaginable challenges before, and just like then, it will rise again. As I write this script, Ukraine is marking its 3rd year of war, still fighting for its survival. Cities like Kyiv, Lviv, and Odessa, once known primarily for their beauty, history, and culture, are now battlegrounds. Since Russia launched its full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022, Ukraine has been in a relentless fight to defend its land, its people, and its very identity. Bombs have fallen on historic streets, homes have been reduced to rubble, and millions have been forced to flee. Tens of thousands have been injured or killed. And yet, despite all of this, the Ukrainian spirit remains unbreakable. But Ukraine is not just a country at war, it's a nation with deep roots, stunning landscapes, and a culture that refuses to be erased. In this video, we will focus on Ukraine. This is the largest country in Europe, home to golden wheat fields, the majestic Carpathian Mountains, and vibrant cities that have stood for centuries. It's a place of poets, warriors, and revolutionaries, a land of resilience. Despite everything, life goes on. People are rebuilding, preserving their traditions, and standing strong against the odds. Ukraine's story is one of struggle, but also of incredible strength and pride. So, let's take a deeper look at this incredible country, its history, its people, and what makes this country so unique. Ukraine is located in Eastern Europe and bordered by 7 countries: Russia to the northeast and east, Belarus to the north, Poland, Slovakia, and Hungary to the west, and Romania and Moldova to the southwest. It also borders the Black Sea on the south. Ukraine is not a member of the European Union. It has applied to become a member in 2022, and it is currently listed as one of the candidate countries. As you probably know, it is also not a member of NATO, but the relations between Ukraine and NATO started in 1991 following Ukraine's independence. In 2018, Ukraine's parliament voted to pursue NATO membership, which is one of the reasons for the invasion according to Putin, because he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO. Regardless of NATO and European Union status, Ukraine maintains a cordial relationship with most countries. Maybe except for Russia, Iran, North Korea, China, and Belarus. Ukraine's capital is Kyiv, one of the greenest cities in Europe. Nearly half of the city is covered in parks and green spaces. Kyiv is home to the Motherland Monument, a Soviet-era monument taller than the Statue of Liberty in New York. The currency is the Ukrainian hryvnia. When it was introduced in 1996, its value was closer to 50 US cents. By 2014, after Russia's annexation of Crimea, it had dropped to around 10 cents. After the full-scale invasion in 2022, it fell further around 2 to 3 pennies. This is Ukrainian flag, simple yet powerful, consists of 2 horizontal stripes, blue on top and yellow on the bottom. The blue represents the sky. It also symbolizes peace and the desire for a bright future. The yellow represents the golden wheat fields that stretch across the country. Ukraine has long been known as the breadbasket of Europe due to its fertile soil and agricultural strength. Together, the blue and yellow create a picture of Ukraine's natural beauty, an endless blue sky above rich golden fields.
Geography!
Ukraine covers about 6% of European land. It has a diverse landscape of plains, mountains, rivers, and a long coastline along the Black Sea, giving it access to maritime trade and strategic naval positions. The coastline has sandy beaches and unique coastal landscapes. Most of Ukraine is part of the Great Ukrainian Plain, known for its fertile black soil, called steppes. The tallest mountain is Mount Hovela in the Carpathian Mountains in western Ukraine, is home to dense forests and rich wildlife. The longest river is the Dnieper River, the fourth longest river in Europe, which runs from Russia through Belarus and Ukraine before emptying into the Black Sea. It is vital for hydroelectric power, agriculture, and transportation. The longest river entirely within Ukraine is the Southern Buh, which starts in western Ukraine and empties into the Black Sea. The largest lake is Lake Yopal, located in southern Ukraine near the Danube Delta. Ukraine is home to some of the most notable places on the planet. Askania Nova is a massive biosphere reserve and one of the oldest steppe nature reserves in the world. It is home to rare wild animals like Przewalski's horses. Have you seen this place? It is not AI generated, it is real. The Tunnel of Love is a beautiful green tunnel formed by trees along a railway track near Klevin. It is a famous romantic destination. The Dniester Canyon is one of the most beautiful natural wonders in Ukraine, with steep limestone cliffs, caves, and picturesque river bends. The Danube Delta is a UNESCO-listed biosphere reserve, home to rich bird life, including pelicans and herons.
History!
Ukraine's history is long and complex, stretching back thousands of years. Let's start from the very beginning. The Tripilia were one of the earliest known civilizations dating back to 5000 BC. They built large settlements, some with populations of up to 15,000 people, which was huge for their time. The Scythians, a group of nomadic warriors, dominated the steppe regions between the 7th and 3rd centuries BC. Around the 6th century BC, the Greek colonies were established along the Black Sea. They brought trade, architecture, and early political structures. The real foundation of Ukraine's national identity began with Kievan Rus, a powerful medieval state that emerged in the 9th century. Founded by the Vikings, the state was centered around Kyiv, which became a major political and cultural hub influencing trade, culture, and religion across the region. The Mongol invasion in 1240 destroyed Kyiv, marking the decline of Kievan Rus. After the fall of Kievan Rus, Ukraine was divided among powerful neighbors. The Grand Duchy of Lithuania and later the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth controlled much of Ukrainian territory. Ukrainian Cossacks, fierce warriors of the steppe, emerged as defenders of their homeland. In 1648, Bohdan Khmelnytsky led a Cossack rebellion against Polish rule, creating the Cossack Hetmanate, an autonomous state. By the late 18th century, eastern Ukraine was absorbed into the Russian Empire. Western Ukraine became part of the Austrian Empire, later Austria-Hungary. Ukrainian culture and language were heavily restricted under Russian rule, while Austria allowed more freedom. After the Russian Revolution in 1918, Ukraine declared independence but was soon taken over by the Soviet Union in 1922. A devastating famine caused by Soviet policies killed millions of Ukrainians between 1932 to 1933. Ukraine became a major battlefield between Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union during World War II. After the war, Ukraine was rebuilt but remained under strict Soviet control, though it became a major industrial and scientific center. With the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, Ukraine declared independence. Russia annexed Crimea in 2014, and again in 2022 Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Despite the war, Ukraine remains a strong, independent nation with a fierce spirit of resistance.
People and culture!
Ukrainians are not just survivors, they are fighters. Whether on the battlefield, in hospitals, or through art and music, they are showing the world that Ukraine will never lose its identity. Let's remember that behind every news headline, there are real people, mothers, children, teachers, hairdressers, and doctors. They all just want to live in peace. Their culture, history, and spirit are worth protecting. Before the war, daily life in Ukraine was like anywhere else. People went to work, students filled universities, and families spent time in beautiful parks and cafes. But today, many Ukrainians wake up to air raid sirens instead of alarm clocks. Cities that once bustled with life now have checkpoints, and families have had to either adapt or flee. But through it all, Ukrainians continue to show incredible resilience. Farmers still harvest crops despite missile threats, volunteers cook meals and deliver aid, and artists use music and poetry to inspire hope. No matter what, life in Ukraine continues. Ukraine's population was about 42 million before Russia invaded Ukraine. After 3 years of this devastating war, the population is closer to 30 million due to many of them fleeing the country to save their lives. Ukraine has one of the highest literacy rates in the world. At 100%, everyone in Ukraine knows how to read and write. The majority, about 3/4 of the population, is ethnic Ukrainians, and the other quarter is made up of Russian, Belarusian, Moldovan, and other minority communities. When it comes to language, Ukrainian is the official language. It's a melodic, beautiful language with a lot of soft sounds. In the East, Russian is widely spoken, and in the West, you might hear some Polish. Now, religion. The majority of Ukrainians follow Christianity, mainly Eastern Orthodoxy. Churches with golden domes are everywhere, and religious holidays like Christmas and Easter are celebrated in a big way, often with traditional foods and colorful customs. Ukrainians are super passionate about football. Clubs like Dynamo Kyiv and Shakhtar Donetsk have huge fan followings. But did you know Ukraine is also home to some of the world's strongest athletes? Yep. Ukrainian weightlifters, boxers, and wrestlers have won multiple Olympic medals. Alright, let's talk about one of the best parts, food. When people think of Ukrainian food, they usually think of borscht, that rich, red beet soup. But there's so much more. Vareniki, dumplings filled with potatoes, cheese, or even cherries for a sweet version. Holubtsi, stuffed cabbage rolls with rice and meat. Salo, yep, Ukrainians love eating cured pork fat, it's a true delicacy. And for dessert, medovik, a delicious honey cake. Food is a big part of Ukrainian culture, especially during family gatherings and festivals. Speaking of celebrations, Ukrainians know how to throw a good festival. One of the biggest is Malonka, the Ukrainian New Year's Eve, where people dress in wild costumes and go door to door singing songs. Another one is Kupala Night, an ancient summer festival where people jump over bonfires and release flower wreaths into rivers, hoping to find true love. It's like a mix of romance and magic. This is a glimpse into the incredible people and culture of Ukraine. From their warm hospitality and delicious food to deep traditions and strong national pride, Ukrainians have a vibrant way of life.
Economy!
When you think of Ukraine and look past the current situation, you might picture beautiful landscapes, rich traditions, or maybe even its famous food. But did you know that Ukraine is also one of the world's most important producers of wheat, steel, and even IT services? Before the war, Ukraine was one of the largest economies in Eastern Europe with a GDP of over $200 billion. The country is rich in natural resources, has a highly educated workforce, and is a major trading hub. But since the war began, Ukraine's economy has suffered heavily. Bombed factories, lost territories, and disrupted trade routes have created massive challenges. And yet, despite everything, Ukraine's industries keep going. So, what are the key industries that drive Ukraine's economy? Ukraine has several powerhouse industries that have long supported its economy. Ukraine has some of the most fertile soil in the world, so good it's called black gold. That's why Ukraine is often called the breadbasket of Europe. Before the war, Ukraine was one of the world's top exporters of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil. Actually, Ukraine is the #1 exporter of sunflower oil in the world, but the war has made farming incredibly difficult. Some fields are now battle zones, ports have been blocked, and exports have slowed down. Still, Ukrainian farmers keep working, ensuring that the world still gets Ukrainian grain. Ukraine was once one of the world's top steel producers. Cities like Dnipro and Zaporizhia were major industrial hubs, producing steel, iron ore, and machinery. But the war has hit this sector hard, with some factories destroyed or occupied. Yet, Ukraine is still producing what it can and looking for ways to rebuild. Ukraine has a booming tech industry. Even before the war, Ukraine was becoming a global hotspot for software development, cybersecurity, and startups. Despite the war, Ukraine's IT sector is still growing. Many Ukrainian programmers continue to work remotely, helping companies around the world. In fact, tech is one of the few industries still bringing in money to Ukraine's economy right now. Ukraine has large reserves of coal, natural gas, and uranium. Before the war, it supplied much of Europe with energy. But Russia's attacks on Ukraine's power plants have made energy production a huge challenge. Still, Ukraine is pushing forward, investing more in renewable energy like wind and solar power to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Before the war, Ukraine's economy was growing fast and industries were booming. But now, damage to factories, farmland, and trade routes has caused huge economic losses. Ukraine has faced war, destruction, and economic hardship, but this isn't the first time. History has shown that Ukraine is a nation of survivors. From centuries of foreign rule to the devastation of World War II, to the Soviet era and the fight for independence, Ukraine has always found a way to rise again. So, what does the future hold after this war? Well, one thing is certain: Ukraine will rebuild. Cities will be restored, industries will recover, and life will return to normal, step by step. Hope the international community steps in and help with the rebuild after the war. This is it for Ukraine. It has a story worth knowing, and one that's still being written. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more geography adventures. Got a favorite fact about Ukraine? Drop it in the comments. See you in the next one.